guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Favor and I'm a lifestyle content creator living in Manitoba, Canada. If this is your first time here, you're definitely welcome. Please subscribe so you can join our family. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming when I post new videos. In this video, I'll be talking about accommodation types and their prices. So if you want to hear all I have to say, definitely keep on watching. The first thing is to figure out what you want in a place. So how many bedrooms do you want? What's your budget? What neighborhood are you looking to stay in? Like, these are questions that you need to have answers to before you start your accommodation search. The other thing is even just go online and see what options are available. I mean, there are a lot of resources online. However, I'm bringing this video your way because I get a lot of questions about this. I'll share a guide I often share with people that reach out to me. So if you're looking for, say, a studio apartment or a bachelor apartment, I feel like you can get something in the $800 to $1,000 price range. However, places are becoming very expensive these days. The other problem I have with those studio and bachelor apartments is that a lot of times they don't stay so long on the market, right? So as they are becoming available, they're also going off the market almost immediately. So a lot of times it's hard. Like, a lot of people apply, but they can only approve 1% for the units, right? So there's that. I also don't see them on the market every single time. So it's like, as the host, like, if you want a studio or a bachelor apartment, like, you have to be on your toes. Like, if it's something that I'm helping you with, I would expect you to be responding like ASAP, because those things go off the market. And like I said, a lot of people are applying, right? So you need to be responding quickly, because if you're not responding, they'll drop your application and move to the next person, right? So that's just something to have in mind. But yeah, depending on the neighborhood, you can get something in the, say, like, let's just say $900 to $1,000 price range. If you're looking to stay near the University of Manitoba, you need to increase that budget to like $1,000 to $1,300, and yes, that's for a studio apartment. So for a one-bedroom apartment, the difference between a studio apartment and a one-bedroom is that in a studio apartment, your living room is your room, and that's where your kitchen, like, everything is in one space. If you're lucky, we get some that have some walls or some demarcations, but most times studio apartments have everything in one space except the bathroom. So now for a one bedroom, you'd have your room separate with like a door, so it's enclosed, and then you have like your kitchen slash living room, and then of course your bathroom, which would be another room that's enclosed. So that's usually the difference, and of course you can understand why a studio will be cheaper than a one bedroom. So for one bedroom apartments, you can see some for like $1,000, $1,001, $1,200, even $1,003 or more. Now, if you want to stay South Winnipeg or near University of Manitoba, I'll put it out there that I'll talk a lot about the southern part of Winnipeg, just because the University of Manitoba is located in the southern area, and a lot of people want to stay near the University of Manitoba. So if you want to stay near the University of Manitoba, you also have to understand that it comes with a cost, because everybody wants to stay near the University of Manitoba, and it's also a very good neighborhood. Okay, so yeah, just putting that out there. I'll be referencing it a lot because I get a lot of people that want to stay South Winnipeg, a lot of people that want to stay near the University of Manitoba. So I'm just using that for the purpose of this video. Yeah, for the one bedrooms, I would say budget like $1,000 to $1,300. If you want to stay near the University of Manitoba, I would say budget at least $1,300 for a one bedroom. Again, this is not a direct reflection of the market right now, because it varies from time to time, right? So yeah, it really depends on what's available. Every once in a while I might find a place that's cheaper, but there's sometimes that the demand is really high, or people are not just moving out, right? And if people are not moving out, like, yeah, you would take whatever's on the market, right? So for me, I'm just giving you a broad estimate. So yeah, you might find something cheaper, but again, I'm just also giving you the, what I say, higher end, or the prices that I find more, so you have that at the back of your mind when setting your budgets, right? So yeah, for one bedroom inside the University of Manitoba, I would say budget at least $1,300. I've also seen one bedroom apartments near your home that cost way more than that, so just something to have in mind. Okay, so yeah, for two bedroom apartments, I would say it usually starts from like $1,000 to $1,300 to about like $2,000 actually. Yeah, it depends on the area, like the neighborhood, and also the kind of apartment it is, right? Some of them look really nice, that also with all these newer apartments that they're building. So if you want one that's really flashy, like nicely renovated or newly renovated, just expect to pay way more money. Okay, so yeah, 2 bedroom apartments usually start from 1,000 to 1,003, and it could cost as much as 2,000 or even more. Okay, again, it depends on the market availability, so like what's available when you're checking, and also the neighborhood. If you want to stay near the University of Manitoba, please, your budget should start from like 1,516 to like 2,000. A lot of the apartments I'm seeing these days near U of M are in the 1,700 to $1,800 price range. So yeah, just have that at the back of your mind. Again, every once in a while we'll find places that are cheaper or more affordable, but I'm just telling you what the average price is right now. I know some apartments, like without even blinking, that are very affordable, but I can't recommend it to certain people just because those apartments will not even consider your application if you don't have a guarantor or a Canadian reference, right? So that's usually an issue for new immigrants. So I usually look for places that are open and flexible with new immigrants. That way, you know, they are not dependent on a guarantor, because yeah, you need somebody that's based in Canada to co-sign for you and all of that, and it's usually an issue. The other thing is sometimes they want a reference from your employer, or they want information from your employer, or something that shows that you have a job here in Canada, or they also want previous rental history from Canada. So those are some of the things that we tackle, or some of the things that we try to balance out when helping people look for accommodation. So definitely reach out to us if you need help with that. So yeah, the thing for me is just have a realistic budget, have realistic expectations, and be flexible as well, because you never really know. And again, it's always based on what's available on the market when you're looking. So like right now, I might find a 1 bedroom for $1,000, but if you're looking in the next 3 months, I don't know if I'll find a 1 bedroom for that price, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. It's always based on the current market availability, right? But yeah, the numbers I shared with you earlier are just, you know, estimates based on things I've seen over time. I feel like it's better for you to have a high budget and you find something cheaper than for you to have, you know, a very low budget and then you're stranded because you can't find anything, right? So that's just something to think about. So yeah, I mostly just talked about the studio, 1 and 2 bedroom apartment, because those are the ones that I often get questions about. You have 3 bedroom apartments too, and depending on the place, depending on the neighborhood, depending on the kind of place it is, right? I would say budget from $1,600 to like $2,000 or even more. If you want near the University of Manitoba, I would say budget $2,000 to $2,500. Again, every now and then we might find something in the $1,500 or $1,600 price range, but yeah, for the most part, to have a realistic expectation, budget at least, you know, $2,000 for a 3 bedroom. So the last type of accommodation for this segment would be shared accommodation, and honestly I feel like it's my go-to for a lot of students, just because it's an easier process, it's a smoother process, less requirements, less documentation required, like depending on the place, right? When it comes to like standard apartments, a lot of times they have, would I say, specific requirements, and that's why I said that there's some places that I would never recommend to new immigrants, just because they wouldn't even touch your application if you don't have a guarantor. If you have a guarantor, yes, we can, you know, consider those places. But if you don't have a guarantor, you don't have employment information from Canada, you don't have rental history from Canada, like those places will not even consider you. Whereas with shared accommodation, there are a lot of options where you don't need a guarantor. I mean, every now and then I'll still, you know, find landlords that require, you know, your reference and all of that, but I feel like there are more options where they don't require that compared to standard apartments, right? But yeah, with people that have families, shared accommodation is usually not my go-to, because yeah, like no, please, like you need your own space and your own privacy and all of that. So when it comes to just individuals like students, a lot of times shared accommodation is good. I also like shared accommodation for students because I feel like it's an opportunity to meet other people and you're not alone, especially as a new immigrant. So you get to make friends, you get to meet other people. So yeah, there's that. The thing is, shared accommodation is that you have your own room, so your room will be your room, but common areas will be shared with other people, so like the kitchen and the washroom, right? And I get a lot of questions about people that don't want to share washrooms again. And you guys, I don't know how best to explain this, but washrooms are not as common as we have them back home, because I don't know, you could see a 3 bedroom house and there's just one washroom there. But yeah, just putting it out there. So if you know that you cannot afford like a studio apartment or 1 bedroom apartment, the chances of sharing a washroom would be high. Now the thing is, how many people you will share the washroom with, I have no idea, because it depends on what's available on the market. It also depends on your budget, right? So you might be able to get a place, like say rent a 2 bedroom apartment with another person, that way to just be you and that person. Or depending on the apartment, you can get a 2 bedroom apartment that has 2 bathrooms, and then that way you don't have to share. But the other thing is, with those kind of apartments that would have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, you'll probably be paying about $900 to $1,000, you know, just for a room in that house. So again, that's something to have at the back of your mind. But yeah, if you're lucky, you might see a place that's more affordable and it's just like one person you have to share the washroom with, and in those cases it's actually not that bad. But yeah, I don't think it's that bad, because I'm just looking at it from a perspective of you're new here, just use it to settle in, use it to get to know people, like, you know, make friends and just figure out your routine. And then by the time you've, you know, figured things out, you're already used to the system, you probably already have a job, you probably already have, you know, a rental, you know, reference that you can use to apply to a standard apartment. So I feel like from that angle, just take it for the first few months, and then, you know, by the time you're moving out, you'll be in a better place to afford a better place, right? And then you can have your own privacy. But again, you have your room, it's just common areas that are shared. So yeah, I don't think it's that bad. We can definitely focus on places that look really neat, and I've seen ones that are, you know, very well taken care of. So I don't think you should be fully opposed to it, especially if you don't have a very high budget. Okay, so with shared accommodation, I would say budget from like $500 to like $800. Again, it depends on the place, depends on the neighborhood, and it also depends on, say, like how many people are in the house, or, you know, the landlord, because every landlord sets their own price. I don't set the price, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about. I don't set the prices are set by the landlords. All I do is I check places out online, I try to work with the budget as much as possible, and I give you feedback, right? But I do not set the prices. Okay, the landlords are the ones that set the price. So that's just something to have in mind. I think that'll be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, as always, you can send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email. My email is always in the description, or you can drop it in the comment section and I'll respond. If you also need help with accommodation search, I'm more than happy to help you with that. So reach out to me, and, you know, I would help you with that. But yeah, I will see you in my next video. But until then, stay safe and stay blessed. Bye.